The train, approaching Bern along my favourite river, the Aare, deposited us at the station in the traffic-free, always bustling commercial centre of the city. Bern, I think, is something of a schizophrenic city, but in a good way. It is firstly a city with a serious view of itself as the administrative capital of Switzerland. The old but very dynamic part of the city is situated on a high-lying peninsula in a hairpin of the Aare River and is home to the stately Bundeshaus, the Swiss Parliament, as well as a superb array of very elegant shops situated under the covered pavements. But Bern is also a city with a strong sense of humour, sometimes quite quirky. On the very doorstep of the Bundeshaus are fountains that simply invite visitors and locals to play games of dodgem with the unpredictable squirts of water that spring from under the ground. A playful pair of legs, a colourful pedal cab, and a gaily painted city bus were more examples of the city's tolerance of free expression. Though early in the season, we were not the only tourists to be seen. Although it is tinted with milkiness, the water in the Aare is pure melted snow from the Bernese Alps and is quite safe to drink and swim in. It's a popular place for fun on the water in summertime. From the high ground of the city, we walked down the paths under the beautiful old bridges to this fast-flowing river. Keep running. Of course, we had to slog up a long flight of steps to get back to the cobbled streets of the city. We sat down at a pavement eatery, watching the passing foot and bicycle traffic while we waited for our lunch, and could not help but notice how well the Bernese people got about the city without four-wheeled vehicles. No obesity here, and that is no coincidence. We had to believe that the man quietly feeding the small birds that came begging at his table was a French artist who lived in a nearby garret. Back, walking past the famous clock tower, the Zeitglocke, towards the station and the ride back to Appenzell.
The last day of our holiday in Switzerland was, yet again, dreary, with dark clouds threatening rain. But we were not about to waste our precious time defeated by the weather. We took the short train ride from Appenzell south to Wasserallen, admiring the craggy alpine landscape on the way. Wasserallen is the gateway to the Alpstein hiking area, and on a previous visit 10 years ago, Colin and I had made the hour-long trek from there to the picturesque mountain lake Sealpsee, an enjoyable and relatively undemanding jaunt on a glorious spring day. This time, from Wasserau, we planned to ride the gondola to the top of Ebenalp at 1,644 meters, the northernmost summit of the Appenzell Alps. It is a popular hiking destination, and in better weather we would have attempted the ascent on foot. But because of the unfavorable conditions, we opted for a ride. Ebenalp is the gateway to the Alpstein hiking region, and the Wildkirchli, a system of 3 caves noted for evidence of Paleolithic habitation.
But normally you can see very far, you can see the Lake of Constance, you can see
Really?
the other mountains in the area, the Saint is also. You're from the States?
Yes,
Yeah. From where?
West Virginia.
West Virginia. Uh-huh.
Have you been to West Virginia?
No.
Been to the States?
Yeah, I have been to the States. I used to work in Tennessee.
Oh.
Well, we were here 10 years ago,
Uh-huh.
but this was closed.
Yeah. See the chamois over there? Now you can see the little church in the rocks there, up there. That's the Wildkirchli, called.
How on earth do people get there?
Yeah.
Is there a pathway to there?
Yes, no problem. I'll
Must be.
show you the way. And the guest house is just around the corner. You just proceed a little bit further and then you can see the guest house Asher, the one which is built into the rocks. So you hike down this way
Yeah.
and then through the cave.
Ah.
Huh?
Oh, I see. Okay.
So it's about 15 to 20 minutes walk from the top.
That's good.
And you just follow this path.
The system of 3 caves, known as Wildkirchli, are notable archaeologically for evidence of habitation by the Neanderthals many thousands of years ago. These caves were first mentioned in a description of this mountainous area in 1524. The altar, built in one of these caves, dates from 1621. Excavated in the early 1900s, the
Wildkirchli, a wild little church.
showed evidence not only of Paleolithic humans, but also habitation by the enormous cave bears that roamed these alpine regions. A few skulls and bones of these large animals are on exhibit in the tiny hermit shack, now the museum, adjacent to the small grotto that clings perilously to the rock face of Ebenalp. Just a short way beyond the grotto and around the next bend in the trail lies the Escher Mountain Inn. This 170-year-old inn is built into the rocky cliffs and offers a restaurant and 6 rooms to weary hikers. Though we were tempted by the thought of steaming cups of coffee, we did not venture beyond the
Wildkirchli.
due to deteriorating weather conditions. Cold and wet, we hiked the trail back up to the gondola station, where we found warm seating while we waited for the next car down to Wasserau. Before leaving the grotto, we popped into the adjacent one-room museum.
Apparently a bear.
A bear.
Because of its perfect location and excellent thermal conditions, Ebenalp is also a paragliding and hang gliding paradise. Views extend over Lake Constance, the Black Forest, the Santis, and the Altman as far as Austria, we're told. But not today. With weather closing in, there was not much to view, and no hang gliding either.
Twee punten.
At Wasserauen, we made our way to the little restaurant at the rail depot, and finally had a chance to warm up with a delicious, rejuvenating latte. After our refreshment, we caught the little train back to Appenzell and our cozy and welcoming accommodation at House Lydia.